The morning of Wednesday began with Afghanistan's threat to retaliate against Pakistan for an alleged airstrike, further escalating the existing tensions between the two countries. Afghanistan's Ministry of Defense issued a statement accusing Pakistan's military of violating Afghan airspace by carrying out a bombing on a refugee camp in the Barmal district of Paktika province, resulting in multiple casualties and injuries. However, Pakistan's military media wing, ISPR, or the Pakistani Foreign Office, has so far neither confirmed nor denied any such attack. On Wednesday morning, Afghanistan's Ministry of Defense posted 3 tweets on its official X account regarding the alleged attack. These tweets were retweeted by the ministry's spokesperson, Anayatollah Khwarazmi, and the central spokesperson of the Taliban government, Zabihullah Mujahid. The Afghan Ministry of Defense further claimed in its statement that most of those killed and injured in the attack were refugees from Waziristan, including women and children. The statement said, Afghanistan condemns this attack and considers it outright aggression and a violation of international principles. Pakistan must remember that such actions are not a solution to the problem. The Ministry of Defense further stated that Afghanistan considers the defense of its territory an inalienable right and that this cowardly act will be responded to. Meanwhile, on Wednesday afternoon, the Afghan Ministry of Foreign Affairs summoned the Charge d'Affaires of the Pakistani embassy and handed over a strong protest note regarding the alleged bombing by Pakistani military aircraft in the Barmal district of Paktika province. The Afghan Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in a statement on the social media platform X, said that such irresponsible actions will certainly have consequences. Paktika is an eastern province of Afghanistan located along the Durand Line, the border between Pakistan and Afghanistan. It shares its boundary with 3 districts of Pakistan, Job in Balochistan province and South Waziristan and North Waziristan in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. It is worth noting that South Waziristan is the district where, on December 21st of this month, an attack on a military post resulted in the deaths of 16 security personnel. Pakistan blamed militants coming from across the border for the attack. Pakistan has not yet issued an official statement regarding this airstrike, while the Afghan Ministry of Defense has warned that Afghanistan reserves the right to retaliate for these attacks. It should be noted that this is not the first time Afghanistan has accused Pakistan of violating its border territory. Earlier this year, in March, the Afghan Taliban claimed that Pakistani aircraft had bombed areas in Paktika and Khost within Afghan territory. Following this, Pakistan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated that the operation targeted terrorists belonging to the Hafiz Gul Bahadur group. After the attack, Afghan government spokesperson Zabihullah Mujahid claimed in a statement that 5 women and 3 children were killed in Pakistan's airstrike. It is worth noting that Pakistan maintains that the rise in militancy is due to the banned organization Tehrik-i-Taliban Pakistan (TTP), using Afghan territory, which the Afghan government has failed to prevent. Militants from across the border are carrying out attacks on Pakistan's security forces, as well as on Chinese and Pakistani citizens. According to Pakistani officials, they have repeatedly provided evidence to Afghanistan, but the Taliban government has not addressed Pakistan's concerns. As a result, these groups have greater freedom to plan attacks against Pakistan from Afghanistan. In an interview with BBC Urdu in June 2024, Pakistan's Defense Minister Khawaja Asif stated that Pakistan will continue operations against Taliban hideouts in Afghanistan. He further mentioned that if deemed necessary in the future, under Operation Azm-e-Istahkam, the hideouts of Tehrik-i-Taliban Pakistan in Afghanistan could be targeted. The Afghan Ministry of Defense has stated in its response that it will answer Pakistan, raising the question of what retaliatory actions Afghanistan could take against Pakistan. It is worth noting that Pakistan has previously accused Afghanistan of harboring TTP hideouts and allowing Afghan territory to be used for anti-Pakistan activities and attacks within the country. However, the Taliban government in Afghanistan has consistently denied these allegations. Contrary to Pakistan's expectations, militant attacks in Pakistan have increased since the Taliban came to power in Kabul. According to the Pakistan Center for Conflict and Security, November of this year recorded the highest number of attacks, resulting in 240 deaths, including around 70 security personnel. While independent information about Afghanistan's armed forces is not available, last September, Inspector General of the Afghan Ministry of Defense, Latifullah Hakimi, claimed that Afghanistan's ground and air forces comprise 170,000 soldiers. Earlier, in February 2022, he stated during a press conference that the Taliban were forming a Grand Army for Afghanistan. He also mentioned that the Taliban had repaired nearly half of the 81 helicopters and aircraft left in an inoperable condition by US forces during their withdrawal in 2021. According to him, following the US withdrawal, the Afghan Taliban gained control of more than 300,000 light weapons, 26,000 heavy weapons, and approximately 61,000 military vehicles. However, these claims have not been independently verified. Earlier, in November 2021, after coming to power, the Taliban government issued a directive renaming the various corps of the Afghan army with Islamic names. Among these was the 313 Badri unit, which gained recognition and whose videos went viral on social media at the time. In these videos, Afghan Taliban personnel could be seen wearing the uniform of this unit and carrying advanced weaponry. This unit is regarded as the Special Forces unit of the Afghan Armed Forces. It is worth noting that a significant quantity of weapons and equipment used by US and NATO forces was left behind following their abrupt withdrawal from Afghanistan. According to several international journals, this military equipment was seized by Taliban fighters. The seized items ranged from advanced rifles and multiple Humvees to a few helicopters. Additionally, it included body armor suits, communication equipment, shoulder-mounted grenade launchers, and night vision devices. Despite all this, analysts in Pakistan believe that the Afghan government in Kabul lacks the capacity to carry out formal action against Pakistan. Speaking to the BBC, journalist Akhil Yousafzai said that since 2021, two kinds of stances have emerged from the Afghan government. He said, first, they deny that the TTP, Tehrik-i-Taliban Pakistan, is using their territory, even though during the tenure of former ISI Chief General Faiz Hamid, when Pakistan held negotiations with the TTP, those talks took place in Kabul itself. On one hand, their narrative is that this is not happening at all, but in private meetings, the Afghan Taliban acknowledge that the TTP is also a threat to them, and they cannot take action against it. Akhil Yousafzai further stated that the Afghan government currently does not have the capability to conduct any military operations within Pakistan that would escalate tensions or create a war-like situation along the border. He added, what could happen instead is that they strengthen the TTP further, especially through the Haqqani network. Attacks by the TTP in Pakistan could increase, and this would only be possible if the Taliban government openly supports the TTP. It is now an open fact that the Haqqani network of the Taliban government uses the TTP as a proxy. However, he also noted that dialogue between the two countries has begun, and it is expected that in the coming days, there will be discussions on cross-border tensions. Only after these talks can it be determined what options the Afghan government is considering.